My wife declared, "I'm done pretending I never loved you," to hurt me. I said, "Finally, honesty." When she got served with papers showing I'd already separated our assets months ago, she realized I'd stopped pretending too. I, 38 male, guess I should have seen this coming. Looking back, all the signs were there. I just chose to ignore them because I loved her, or thought I did. Maybe we were both pretending. Last Thursday, my wife Veronica, 36, sat me down after dinner. She had this weird energy like she'd been rehearsing something. Then she dropped it. "I'm done pretending. I never loved you. Not really. I married you because you were safe, stable, and my parents approved, but I can't do this anymore." The thing is, she clearly expected me to break down, to beg, to cry. Instead, I just nodded and said, "Finally, honesty. Thank you for that." Her face went through like 5 different expressions in 2 seconds. Confusion, anger, then this weird triumphant look. "That's it? That's all you have to say? What else is there? You just told me our entire marriage was a lie. At least now we can stop pretending." She started going off about how cold I was, how this proved I never really loved her either. Then came the kicker. She wanted the house, obviously. Half of everything, obviously. And alimony because she'd wasted her best years on me. I just said, "We should probably get lawyers involved then." Here's what Veronica didn't know. 6 months ago, I'd finally admitted to myself what I'd been denying for years. She wasn't just unhappy, she was actively contemptuous of me. Every accomplishment I had was met with indifference. Every interest of mine was boring or weird. She'd roll her eyes when I talked about my day. She'd make plans with her friends on our anniversary. Twice. So I started preparing. Not for revenge, just for the inevitable. I'd been living like a single man financially for months. Separate grocery runs, she never noticed I stopped eating her cooking. Separate streaming accounts, created my own profiles. Stopped contributing to joint purchases she wanted. That new living room set? She bought it herself with our money that was actually just hers from her account. I'd been slowly, legally separating our intertwined lives. The business I started 3 years ago, I never added her as a partner, despite her assumptions. The rental property I inherited from my uncle, still solely in my name. She never asked to be added, probably because she called it that dump and refused to help manage it. My 401k, I'd changed my beneficiary to my sister months ago during open enrollment. Monday morning, she got served. Not just divorce papers, but a complete financial disclosure showing exactly what was mine, what was hers, and what was truly marital property. Spoiler alert, it was a lot less than she thought. The house, bought before marriage with my inheritance from my grandmother. I'd never added her name. Legally, ethically, completely mine. That rental property she called a dump generates $2,100 a month in passive income. Also mine. The business that she said would never amount to anything, valued at about $180K now, still mine. Our actual marital assets? 2 car loans, both underwater, about $15 in her savings, $8K in mine, and some furniture. She called me screaming within an hour. How could I do this? How long had I been planning this? Why didn't I tell her about the business valuation? "Veronica, you just told me 3 days ago you never loved me. I'm just agreeing with you. We should both stop pretending." But I didn't mean... I was just upset. I can't just what? Protect assets I had before marriage? Run a business you never supported? You said you wanted honesty. This is honesty. She hung up on me. Now her family's blowing up my phone, calling me heartless. Her mom left me a voicemail saying I'm throwing away a good woman over one emotional outburst. One outburst? Try 6 years of contempt disguised as a marriage. I'm not vindictive. I've proposed a clean split. She keeps her car, I'll take mine, her savings, her retirement account. I'll even give her 3 months to find a place, rent-free. But the house, the business, the rental, those stay with me. Her lawyer contacted mine yesterday. Apparently she's claiming I've been financially abusive by secretly planning this. My lawyer actually laughed. Planning for divorce isn't abuse, it's prudent. The funniest part? She's now love-bombing me. Texts about how she didn't mean it, she was just stressed, we can work through this. Today she sent me a photo of our wedding with, "Remember this day?" Yeah, I remember. I remember thinking I was the luckiest man alive. Now I know she was thinking she'd locked down a meal ticket. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just free. For the first time in years, I don't have to pretend her dismissive comments don't hurt. I don't have to act like I don't notice she never asks about my day, but expects me to listen to hour-long rants about her coworkers. I don't have to pretend when she openly mocks me to her friends. We're both finally being honest. Isn't that what she wanted? Update 1. Well, the entitlement has reached new heights. First, Veronica tried to move her boyfriend into my house. Yeah, boyfriend. Apparently, I never loved you came with a side of, because I've been seeing Todd from my CrossFit for 8 months. She didn't tell me about Todd directly. No, she just showed up Saturday morning with him and a U-Haul, claiming since she was still legally my wife, she had every right to move a roommate in to help with expenses. Todd stood there looking smug while she explained this was perfectly legal. My lawyer had prepared me for something like this. I calmly showed them the printed email from my attorney, explaining that while she had a right to residence for 3 months, as I'd offered, she did not have the right to move in additional occupants. Todd tried to get in my face, asking, what kind of man throws out his wife? The kind whose wife just admitted she never loved him and has been cheating for 8 months. Hey Todd, did she tell you the house isn't marital property? Just checking. His face was priceless. Veronica hadn't mentioned that small detail apparently. But here's where it gets truly unhinged. After I refused to let Todd move in, Veronica decided to throw a divorce party at my house while I was at work, and charged it to a credit card she thought was still linked to my account. Came home to about 20 people in my backyard, a DJ, catered food, and a banner that said, "Finally free." The cops were very understanding when I explained the situation. Party got shut down real quick. The credit card? She'd been using an old card of mine I'd reported lost 6 months ago and had replaced. The charges got declined. The party company is now pursuing her for the $3,200 bill. But wait, there's more. She went to my business, the one she never supported, never asked about, never cared about, until she learned it was worth something. Told my business partner and employees that she was taking over as co-owner and that I was having a mental breakdown. She actually tried to access our business bank account at the bank, claiming to be a partner. Thank God for paper trails. The bank manager called me immediately, and I provided our partnership agreement showing she has 0 ownership. I also had to send an email to all employees and clients clarifying the situation. Professional? No. Necessary? Absolutely. Her lawyer dropped her yesterday. Apparently, trying to fraudulently access business accounts and lying about ownership stakes crossed a line. She's now representing herself. Today, she filed a complaint saying I'm hiding assets because I must have more money than I'm declaring. Her evidence? I buy name-brand cereal and don't clip coupons. I'm not joking. She submitted grocery store receipts as evidence of my lavish lifestyle. My lawyer's having a field day. In 30 years of practice, I've never seen someone claim Honey Nut Cheerios as evidence of hidden wealth. Meanwhile, Todd has already left her. Turns out when he realized she wasn't getting a house and half a business, he suddenly remembered he wasn't ready for a serious relationship. She's been posting vague motivational quotes on social media about knowing your worth and rising above betrayal. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. Tomorrow is our first settlement conference. She's demanding the house that she has no legal claim to, 50% of my business that she has no legal claim to, lifetime alimony in a state that caps it at 5 years max, my grandmother's car, a 1967 Mustang I restored myself before we met, $100 for emotional damages, not a thing in divorce proceedings. My counteroffer remains the same. Clean split of actual marital assets, 3 months to move out, everybody walks away. Her mom called again, this time crying about how I'm destroying her baby girl. I asked her if she knew about Todd. The line went quiet. That's different, she finally said. You drove her to it by being emotionally unavailable. Ma'am, your daughter just admitted she never loved me and married me for stability. How much more emotionally available should I have been to someone who was lying from day one? She hung up. The wildest part? Veronica keeps acting like I'm the one being unreasonable. Like her declaring she never loved me was just something wives say sometimes, like commenting on the weather. She genuinely cannot understand why I won't just get over it and give her half of everything I owned before I met her. Update 2. The settlement conference was something. Veronica showed up in a full designer outfit, new, tags tucked but visible, and immediately started crying about how she's been forced to live in poverty since I kicked her out. She's still in my house, rent-free, using my utilities. The mediator asked her to explain what she meant by poverty. She said she had to cancel her monthly spa membership and couldn't afford her weekly nail appointments anymore. The mediator's face was professionally neutral, but I saw her eye twitch. Then Veronica played what she thought was her ace. She claimed she was pregnant, said she found out last week, demanded I stop the divorce immediately for the sake of our child. My lawyer calmly asked for proof. She said she didn't need to prove it. The mediator explained that actually, yes, she did. She produced a pregnancy test photo on her phone from Pinterest. The mediator recognized it because apparently this isn't the first time someone's tried this. When caught, she broke down sobbing that the stress I've caused made her miscarry. The non-existent pregnancy. The mediator called a break. During the break, her new lawyer, she found one desperate enough to take her case for a potential percentage of winnings, tried to argue that my business was actually her idea. His evidence? A text from 3 years ago where she said, "Why don't you do something with computers since you're always on yours?" That's it. That was her founding contribution to my ITT consulting firm. But here's where karma really showed up. Remember that rental property she called a dump? The one she refused to help with? Well, Veronica decided to take matters into her own hands. She went there and told my tenants I was a slumlord who was going to prison, and they should stop paying rent to me and pay her instead as the real owner. She even gave them a lease with her signature. My tenants, a lovely retired couple, immediately called me. They recorded the whole thing on their Ring doorbell. Fraud, attempted theft, impersonation, all on camera. I didn't want to press charges initially, but my lawyer insisted. "This isn't about revenge," he said. "This is about protecting yourself and your business from someone who's escalating." She was arrested last Tuesday. Suddenly, her bargaining position got a lot weaker. Her lawyer dropped her again. Her mother finally stopped calling after I sent her the Ring footage. Even her friends have gone quiet. At the final hearing yesterday, with her now representing herself again, she tried one last move. She claimed I'd been emotionally manipulating her for years, forcing her to pretend she didn't love me, and that her confession was actually my fault because I'd programmed her to hurt herself. The judge, God bless this woman, looked at her over her glasses and said, "Ma'am, are you claiming your husband manipulated you into having an 8-month affair?" Well, when you put it like that, I am putting it like that because that's what you're saying. Please continue. She couldn't. Final judgment. Clean split of actual marital assets, about $11,000 each after debts. She has 30 days to vacate the house, not the 3 months I originally offered. No alimony. She's responsible for her own legal fees. The fraud charges are separate and ongoing. Walking out of the courthouse, she tried one more time. "I did love you, you know, in my own way. Your way included lying, cheating, and trying to steal from me. You never fought for me. If you loved me, you would have fought for me. Veronica, you told me you never loved me. You brought your boyfriend to our house. You committed fraud against my tenants. What exactly was I supposed to fight for?" She stood there looking genuinely confused, like she still doesn't understand that actions have consequences. You were supposed to love me enough to ignore all that. And there it is, the perfect summary of our marriage. I was supposed to love her enough to ignore that she didn't love me back. She moved out yesterday, left the key on the counter with a note, "I hope you're happy now." I am, actually. For the first time in years, I'm genuinely happy. I'm dating someone now. Met her at a small business owners meetup. She actually asks about my day. She thinks my rental property is a smart investment. She celebrates my wins. Turns out, when you stop pretending, when you stop accepting less than basic respect, when you stop financing someone else's contempt for you, life gets a lot better. Veronica posted on social media yesterday about surviving narcissistic abuse and finding her truth. The comments are not supportive. Apparently, Todd's new girlfriend found the post and added some context about the timeline of their relationship, with receipts. My ex-mother-in-law sent me one last text. I'm sorry. We didn't raise her to be like this. I didn't respond. Some things don't need words. The fraud case is still pending, but my lawyer says she'll likely get probation and have to pay restitution to the party company and possibly damages to me for the attempted rental theft. She's living with her parents now, working at her dad's accounting firm. The gossip mill says she tells everyone I financially abused her by hiding my premarital assets. You know what the craziest part is? She still genuinely believes she's the victim here. In her mind, I'm the villain who refused to hand over assets I owned before I met her, who didn't let her boyfriend move into my house, who didn't finance her lifestyle after she admitted to never loving me. But I'm done caring what she thinks. I've stopped pretending too. The house is peaceful now. I renovated the master bedroom, something she never let me do because she wanted to hire an expensive designer we couldn't afford. Cost me $3,000 doing it myself. Looks fantastic. My business just landed a huge contract. The rental property has a waiting list of potential tenants. Life's good when you stop pretending it isn't. Edit. Since some people asked, yes, the fraud charges are real and ongoing. No, I don't feel bad about it. She tried to steal from my tenants and commit fraud. That's a crime. Also, yes, I'm eeping the Mustang. She never even had a license.